Hi, I'm Peter Rose, founder of Longwood Currency Trading, and I'm back in the kitchen again today. We had a very overcast day several videos ago. Then we had a bright and sunny day. This is February of 2025, and we have another overcast day, and I don't know whether the camera's picking this up or not, but it's snowing out. We had 10 inches of snow yesterday, 5 inches the day before, and how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? That's what you really want to hear, right? I work with traders that are struggling with their trading. You've been doing it in a live account, 6 months at least $1,000 bank at risk. So you're just not seeing the success that you think that you should have. And that's clouding your vision from the real question that you need to know is, how long does it take to be profitable? Because I'm struggling. I've been talking with people over the years that have struggled for 2 years, 3 years. And when I tell them the truth about things, you can get profitable in several weeks if you have a good foundation and a basis of understanding what you're doing. But they want some magic secret sauce answer. I think that's why the 20-year-olds don't have much success in talking with me through email. I would encourage you to email me to discuss whatever it is that's happening. More often than not, I can point the way for you at no charge. You know, we can get a video conference going, or maybe I can just do it through email and say, have you thought about doing this? And if you're experienced and you've got some ground under you, and you've done some trading, maybe 100 trades, I'll talk with folks. I think I can help folks that have 50 trades or something like that. You have to have some experience over diverse 6 months of trading over diverse market conditions in order to not fall into the trap that, you get onto a trend and you're hobbling along there but you're lucky and you're successful and you make 30 pips one day and you think you got it, and then all of a sudden the swing comes and away goes your account. So the questions always come up. Well, I can't be profitable if I can't be successful. And so, is this a chicken and egg thing? Do I have to get profitable first before I can ask the question, how long does it take to be profitable? Or can I ask the question ahead of time and get a reasonable answer? And then, what do I do then? What steps do I take in order to get to that target? You're standing at the edge of a swimming pool and you haven't really swum very, very much before. You know, you've floated around at the beach and flopped around, but you really want to learn how to swim. You might not want to join the team, but you'd like to be able to swim 4 or 5 laps of the pool without drowning. You'd like to be able to dive into the deep end without worrying about things. You want to learn how to swim. So when you stand there on the side of the pool and you say, well, how long would it take me to learn how to swim? The instructor can say to you, a couple of weeks. Now, if you wanted to compete with somebody, swimming a couple of lengths of the pool, how long would it take you to get good enough to do that? Well, now we got to ask a bunch of questions. What's your current physical condition? What's your fatigue level? What's your diet like? Have you done any athletics before? Do you understand the body mechanics? And all those kinds of questions that a good coach is going to ask you before they can say, I'm willing to work with you, because you're asking the right questions and you've got some background behind you that you're going to be able to respond to what I'm saying. So how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? The goal of my fast track course, and that's for experienced traders, again, who follow those conditions, right? That you've traded 6 months, you got 50 to 100 trades behind you, a real account, $1,000. Better if you had $3,000 or $4,000, so that when you lose a pizza and it hurts, right? You lose 10 pips, you lose $10 and on a mini account, or $100 on a full account. $30 on a three mini lot. That's going to hurt. That's a pizza. You don't want to lose a pizza. Let's put things into proportion here. How long does it take? In the work that I do with someone who gets into my program, because I don't teach a lot of people, because I teach them. I have a manual, a course manual, but I also have consulting that goes with that. So when someone reads through a certain block of assigned material, we have a conference so that I can make sure they understand what was there, that they relate it to the stuff that came before, and that they are really ready to go on to the next reading assignment in the course. So we're progressive. It's called process-oriented learning. I call it process-oriented trading because we're applying principles into the process of trading. And that builds your trading methodology. So how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? The goal that I have for those folks that come into the program with some experience is going to be, hopefully, by the end of that, well, fast track is 6 weeks. And the last 2 weeks, there's just a lot of trading. The prior 4 weeks is getting ready for that and trading a little bit in demos, get used to the methodology that I'm trying to share with you, and then get out into the live account within the first couple of weeks. You've got $1,000 and you're trading live. So you don't want to be trading live with $1,000 and lose that. However, I would caution you not to think that way. The only way you're going to learn what not to do is you got to lose. If you win all the way through, how can either one of us be sure that you know what to do? You can say, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, that's the right thing, that's the right thing. But in real time, can you make those decisions? Your ability to make those decisions is based on the base, the foundation of learning that you have that goes before that. If you have shitty education, then you can't expect your results to be consistent or profitable anytime soon. If you're able to take some of the education that's out there and lose a lot and learn from that and be able to put those pieces together, good, then you're going to be on it. I was able to do that, but I have a background. I had 33-year career as a senior software engineer. I got a BS in physics and almost a minor in math. I've been through this shit before, 40 years in real estate. So I had some organizational background for financial stuff. I lost $40,000 of a $45,000 account in about 4 months after studying the currency market from 2007 until 2017 or 18, when I put that $45,000 in. You'd think in that amount of time of doing analysis and research, I was doing it as an academic exercise, right? I still had my real estate going. I was a software engineer. I wasn't going to get into trading, but it fascinated me. So I studied it. I wrote computer simulation analysis of thousands of lines of code to do it. I was fascinated with it. It was great stuff. 2012, I tried it with a couple of mini lots. Boom, gone. Let me try it again. And boom, gone. So maybe I better take some courses and read some other books and stuff on actual, trading. And I've read a lot of the books, but not as someone who'd go into trade. I just was looking for structure. And then, like I said, it wasn't until 2017 that I actually put in that $45,000. So I took a long period of time to get to the point where I put big money at risk, and I lost $40,000 of that. And I stepped back from that, and I threw out all that education because I realized as a software engineer solving complex problems, business problems in software engineering, that I had to apply the principles of software engineering into this market because I found out I was trying to solve the wrong problem. Nobody talks about the real problem. Once I identified the problem, I had to figure out, okay, that's a pretty complex problem. How do I break that problem down into small, simple pieces? How do I make sure that the simple pieces of problems that I am building are sequentially organized so I don't end up in this random permutation matrix that I talk a lot about in these videos. By that I mean if I have two conditions for something to happen, or if I have two objects, A and B, there's 4 different ways I can arrange those 2 objects. There's A by itself, B by itself, A, B, and BA. So out of 2 objects, I have 4 permutations. If I had 5 objects, I'd have 325 permutations. It gets very, very nasty. And so those of you that are trying to trade with indicators and all this other stuff that some of these educational so-called people are talking about, you're building this permutation matrix. So what I do in myself, what I did to solve it for me, and now what I can do in teaching that as a mentor, as a teacher, and having a course, is those problems. When you break the big problem down into small problems, you don't want to have 3 or 4 individual pieces that have a couple of hundred different permutations they can be arranged in. The example I just gave in a past video was, I need to change the oil in my lawnmower. I have a sequential bunch of steps I have to go through. I have to take the cap off the oil filter tube, and then I can pour the oil in. I can't come up to the motor with the cap on and pour the oil and then take the cap off. So that would, if I had a rule of I'm going to push the lawnmower forward, and then I'm going to pull it back, and then I'm going to move it sideways. I could do any one of those 3 actions at any time. That's non-sequential. But taking the cap off the oil tank and then pouring the oil, that's a sequential movement, A and B. But I can't do B and A. So I don't have a permutation matrix. So I have to arrange my problems such that they're sequential. I got to solve this problem first before I go to this one and then to this one, right? Now, when you solve a problem, what do? You have a rule. So you have to build a rule for each problem that you have, and a rule consists of conditions. If this condition is true, I go on to the next condition. If that condition is true, I go on to the next condition. And those conditions have to also be in sequential order. This is education. I don't know what's out there. I'm still watching videos out there, and I don't see anybody doing anything that resembles logical, reasonable education, teaching, training, or even trading. You take somebody that stumbled around and lost dozens and dozens of times. They're trading at high leverage, and all of a sudden they get lucky, and they get 6 lucky hits in a row at 200 to 1, and all of a sudden their $10,000 or $20,000 account is mid 6 figures. And then they take 2 more trades, and they've got $1 million account. So that's just like the guy running through the minefield, and he gets through, and he calls to everybody, "Hey, I got through the minefield. I know how to get through a minefield." No, you don't. You just made enough errors along the way to be able to get through it, so you know what not to do, but you may not know how to teach that. God love you that you can make $20,000 a day or $5,000 a day or whatever it is that you're making. I'm not questioning that. All I'm questioning is you have no right to teach somebody unless you have a basis of education. And so I'm cautioning you guys. When you ask a question, how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? You can't listen to somebody who's done a non-sequential process of getting successful, and he may not even be able to convey to you the things that he's doing right. He may not be able to convey to you what caused him to be right. Yeah, you get these people that say, I got this engulfing candle pattern and the RSI and the stochastics tell me, blah, 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 and I'm going to take the trade. No, that isn't what they're doing. All those are past information. And the engulfing candle pattern has nothing to do with it. I've got videos where I show they don't make any sense. They all indicate the same possible thing, but when do you do it? That's the question. In any event, you can't take all that stuff and throw it against the solution problem. You have to be able to identify the problem, break the problem up into simple problems that are sequentially oriented. Each problem has one rule to solve it, and that rule has 2 to maybe 4 conditions. My entry rule, for example, in the life cycle of a currency position, which is my RIP. I've been talking about life cycle of a currency position for 10 years. is my rip against the software development life cycle, the SDLC. I just borrowed that template, which is a very complex template to solve really complex problems. I brought that into my trading after I lost all that money. And I said, well, first of all, I was solving the wrong problem. What problem do I need to solve? Okay, that's a complex problem. So I broke it down into a bunch of smaller problems. And then I figured out how to arrange those sequentially. And then I figured out what rule needed to be written in order to solve that problem. And then I built sequential conditions. So how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? If you learn it that way, you can be consistent and profitable in 4 to 6 weeks. That's what my course is trying to help people do. Most people don't want to take it because it is expensive and you have to deal with me. So if you I'm an educator, but I've been in martial arts for 55 years. So when I get somebody on my karate deck and I'm teaching them self-defense and I say, boom, you got to do this and that, what are we going to do? We're going to debate it? Well, it either works or it doesn't work. What are you going to do when you get in the alley and some guy comes up and grabs you by the throat and slams you over a garbage can? You're going to debate which technique you should use and all that crap? I know how to teach important stuff. And my approach is direct, and it's expectatory. I have a process. I'm not going to teach you a system. I'm going to teach you a process. And it's that process that doesn't change. How you ride a bicycle doesn't change how you would teach somebody how to ride a bicycle. How to drive a car doesn't change because it's sequential. There's no other way. But you have to know what that way is. You have to have it laid out for you. And so the people who look at me ranting on these videos say, well, this guy's crazy. He's going to yell at me. He's going to make me work. I'm not going to yell at you. I don't care. I care about you as a person, as a human being that has expressed a goal. I've got to learn this because I injured my leg. Maybe I'm a vet and I've come back and I can't do the physical labor that I was doing before. Maybe, or just somebody in work. You've come down with COPD or something and you can't do the physical rigors of the work that you have to do, or you've smashed up your hand. What are you going to do to make money? Your whole life has been this physical activity. Or maybe you're older and you're 45 or 50 years old and you've just been laid off from your job. How long do you think it's going to take to get your job back at 50 years old? Age discrimination is out there. They don't want us old people. So what are you going to do? You've been working as a mid-level manager in an insurance company and making 6 figures. Now what are you going to do? You're on the streets. You got unemployment for what, 26 weeks or something, and whatever savings you have, and it probably isn't enough. So now what are you going to do? How long does it take to be profitable in Forex? Fast Track course is presented in a 6-week period of time. We hope to get you up to about a win-loss ratio of 60-40, a yearly profit projection of about 20%. And those are the 2 key things that we're looking for. Well, consistency is obvious to that. But I don't want to make just 20%. If I had $30,000 in my account, $6,000, that isn't going to affect me. Well, listen, it's like, if you're making $30,000 a year and you get a $6,000 bonus, are you going to get a $6,000 bonus on that $30,000? No. Even if you did, would you get it every year? No. But if you had a side hustle trading and you get 20% against your $30,000 bank or $30,000 salary, and you made $6,000 to add to that $30,000 salary, well, that's pretty good, 20%. Well, that's just for starters. We can go through the math and we can show how you get 40% to 60%. And then later, if you finish that course and you're struggling at that point for doing things like building positions, staging into positions, reverse staging, and all that kind of stuff. We can get into some other techniques and things that will take a 60% return on your bank to maybe 120% of your bank. Maybe. Because the math shows that you can do it. If the math shows that you can do it, then you should be able to do it. Well, Peter, prove that. What proof do you have? Well, I'm in a little different situation because I had 40 years of real estate investment, and that I have found, that risk management process I have found is not applicable in the currency market. And I came to trading large lot size positions very quickly because of my rules that I developed right after I lost that $40,000. I took those rules, I built those rules, I took the $5,000 that was remaining, and I just about doubled that in 4.5 months. So I knew that the rules were applicable. Now, you can't take a $50,000 account and double that in 4.5 months because the mechanics are a little bit different from the sizing standpoint and emotionally until you have a lot of experience. But taking those rules were very applicable. But when I got into the trading, I started, when I was really going, I threw, I think I had $50,000 I started with, and I started trading that, and I did really well with that. So I threw another 50 in there, and I was trading that and doing really well. So in about a 7-month period of time, I went from trading 1 to 3 lot size positions to trading 20 and 25 lot size positions. And I wasn't trading at 200 to 1. I was trading 10 to 1. So you do the math on that, and I had a lot of money going. So in 1 year, I did I had a 60% return, I think it was, going into the fourth quarter. I've said this a couple of times, and I'm confused with it. I should probably get the real numbers, but about 60% going into the fourth quarter when I blew it, and I ended up with, I think it was 30% on my risk for the year, because the real estate risk management got in the way in that fourth quarter. Because you get in the fourth quarter, you're trying to wrap it up for the year, you got all kinds of other stuff, plus all the other financial markets are steaming together to try to close out their year on December 31st so they can start the new year. Even if you have fiscal years, you still have employees. You don't bring employees in based on your fiscal year because you base your hiring and all that kind of stuff on a yearly basis, because that's how people work. Businesses might work on fiscal year, but people work on December 31st, coming through from January 1 to December 31. So you have all this financial stuff going on, and that's where my real estate risk management goes. And I go, okay, it's time to shoot the potatoes. Let's go big. So in the year that I took a big loss, I was up 80% against my relatively large bank going into that fourth quarter. And I ended up, I think I was 46% up in that year. The next year, I was up again about 80%, something like that, going into the fourth quarter, and I got things mixed up really badly. I made some horrible errors. I pushed it too much. I pushed too many lots in there, and I lost 6 figures, big 6 figures. And then that trade dribbled into last year, 2024, and so I was negative in 2024 because I had this huge carry-through loss in starting in 2024. I just didn't have time to make it up. So that's how bad it can get if you have contradictory things that you've learned impinging on your, how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? Because I've identified that in me, I can identify it in other people, and hopefully we'll be able to work with somebody who has that and say, okay, you got to watch out for this. I mean, this is like learning how to drive a car. Watch out for the octagonal red sign that says stop on it. You got to make sure you stop there, because if you don't, you may be lucky getting through that 4 or 5 times. But what happens when you get pancaked by a semi truck? You're dead. So you don't want that to happen in your Forex trading. So my training is based on slow growth principles so that you don't get into bad habits. You're not going to be trading at 200 to 1 or 500 to 1 or even 100 to 1 with me, because that's not good risk management. If you want to trade at 200 to 1, you have 2 or 3 or 4 years of experience and you've been beat up before and you really know how to manage that risk, then go for it and do it. I know some folks on that are traders that do exactly that, and they ring the cash register every day and are very happy. So how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? If you have a really good foundation and you're willing to put out of your mind all this other stuff that's out there so you can see the logic of the process and then understand the math behind how you manage your money, you're going to do okay. Why wouldn't you be able to be profitable in that 4 to 6 week period of time while we're doing that course? I'm teaching day trading, whether it's the full trading program that I have or this fast track course that we're doing. Why isn't it possible in that 4 to 6 weeks? As long as you've got a good basis. If you come in and you fiddled around and demo for 6 months with a $50,000 account, I can't even begin to talk with you. I can't help you because you've done the wrong thing. You've got really bad habits. If I'm not too busy with other people, I would consider taking you on as a beginner, but generally I don't teach beginners because my skills are more meant for somebody who's been beat up before and they're not having the success that they feel they should be having, not a beginner who doesn't know what the success is at all. So if you are struggling with your trading, either with consistency or profitability or both, because you could be inconsistent, but you could be profitable because you happen to get lucky on 3 trades and make 100 pips on one and 75 on the other when your normal average win value is 15 pips and you think you're a hero, and that's where you're really going to get into trouble, by thinking that you know what you're doing because you 3 times or 5 times 5x'd your profit. If you're willing to listen to good process and to build those rules according to your personality. For example, if we determine that you'd be better as a position trader as opposed to a day trader, I'm still going to teach you day trading so we can make a lot of mistakes and you can fix those and you can learn all that stuff, because all the skills and the rules that you develop doing day trading are directly applicable in moving up into the higher time frames if you want to do swings or position trading. Real estate isn't that way. Real estate had those long-term goals. I held properties for 20 years. So when I brought the principles of risk management down into my trading, I'm going from 20-year positions to daily positions, and the risk management is risk management. But I didn't realize how severe 40 years of that real estate risk management was going to grab me. And so that overcame my sensibility and I got flushed. So by starting and building a good foundation and being aware of all these little gotchas along the way, we can build rules that will prevent you from not falling prey to doing that. It's really simple. It's so simple. I've got on the phone with, or on a video conference with people, and I've explained this stuff and how simple it is, and they go, couldn't be that simple. If it was that simple, everybody would be rich. Yeah, but it's not everybody can make it simple. You know, a lawyer takes a simple document and of 5 pages and turns it into 50. That doesn't simplify anything. Very intelligent, very bright. A large document says the same thing as a short document, but you got to do all this complex stuff. In trading, you really don't need to do all that complex stuff. You don't need to know fundamentals or stochastics or what do you need to know? That's what I teach, what I call relevant information. So how long does it take to be profitable in Forex and consistent? 4 to 6 weeks if you do it right. I don't know what you're going to do if you don't have a good solid foundation. And I'm not the only person out there that can teach good solid foundation work. But very few people have my background as an educator, 50 years teaching martial arts. Important stuff. This is not important. This is just fucking money. But teaching important stuff that people's lives depend on, and bring that educational ability down to structure a course plan that lays all this stuff out in a very simple manner. Is it easy? No, you got a lot of reading to do, you got a lot of work to do, but if you want to be profitable, it isn't going to happen in 2 days, but it could happen in a couple of months, in 4 to 6 weeks. Why not? But it's going to be on a $1,000 mini account, because I'm not going to let you trade $10,000 account until you know what you're doing. Until you get profitable, you don't, even if you quit working on the course, my final parting note to you is, don't start trading a larger account until this happens and this happens and that happens. 3 things. So I want to make sure that the principles and stuff that I'm teaching, because they're the secret sauce. They are the things that make trading simple. If you can't make your trading simple, I don't know how you're going to be successful. And so that's my job, is to make the things simple for you. And sometimes I have to yell in order to get somebody's attention and say, I'm going to come over the internet ways through TCP/IP, and I'm going to grab your throat and choke you if you do that stupid mistake again. Because it's that important. It's about money. What do you want to do? Piss off a pizza just because you make a simple mistake? Don't do it. Is that harsh? Yeah, but I'm trying to help you. I got all the love and compassion in the world in my heart for you, because I don't take you on as a student unless we can be friends. I want to be like my karate students. I forgot the karate students now. I was just out to dinner a couple of months ago with a student that's been with me for 40 years. I just had an email conversation from a student that's moved, and he's got 35 years with me. So I want to work with people so that when we start out, we're parallel thinking in the amount of work that we're willing to do and the amount of study that we're willing to do, so that later, as we go through the thing and when the course is over, we still remain friends as peer traders working together in this great Forex market. So how long does it take to be profitable in Forex? As long as it takes you to build this strong foundation that I've just described for you. If you don't know how to build that foundation, send me an email. Let me talk with you and find out if you've got the skills to do that on your own. If you do, I can point you in the direction and tell you what to do, and it's free. But if you don't have those skills, or you're wondering, you have a lot of questions and stuff, we can talk about the course and the training. And then I talk about, well, who are you? What's your background? How old are you? Because the way I would teach solving a problem to a 50-year-old is going to be different than the way I might teach it to a 24-year-old. I may have to organize the class differently from a 4 to 6 week goal because of your work schedule and the stuff that you're doing. We may have to go out to 8 or 12 weeks. And that's fine. But I get to know you, and in the process of me getting to know you, you get to know me. And then we can work together. And you can be successful in as long as it takes to build that foundation. Peter Rose, Longwood Currency Trading. Have a great day, and have a great trading day.